I often get asked on Instagram, "Hey IQ, can you recommend any good mixed martial arts gyms in location? Bush." Or, "Do you know any good jiu-jitsu gyms in, I don't know, whenever?" And I know this question is probably on a lot of your minds. Someone who's planning to start training martial arts in general. And are they joining the right academy? Or, on the contrary, are they about to walk into a McDojo? That evil that's been spreading for decades, like a cancer in martial arts and combat sports, degrading them from within. Today we'll discuss a topic that's taboo for some, a sort of Voldemort that you can't talk about and that others prefer not to mention because it affects their interests. The term McDojo is not an official designation, obviously. It's a colloquial term that has become popular within the martial arts community. To describe a type of school or academy that operates under a business model where money and the massive recruitment of clients are prioritized over authenticity, depth of teaching, and the philosophical principles inherent to martial arts, and the level of the practitioners and instructors. The Mac part doesn't come from McGregor. It obviously comes from McDonald's and its fast food setup, where the time to go in, order your product, and get it is really fast. In the same way McDojos operate, you go in, move up quickly, and therefore you start getting results, which in this case are usually ranks or belts. The rise of McDojos isn't as new as many might think. It's a phenomenon tied to the global social and economic evolution of the 20th century. You'll see. Starting from the mid-1970s and early 1980s, martial arts experienced an explosion of global popularity, driven by iconic figures from action movies and television. I invite you to watch the series on the Action Movie channel to learn more about all of this.
Okay.
After watching a Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris movie, more than one person at home said, "I want to learn too." And hey, that's fine, something similar happened to me. But anyway, martial arts were traditionally taught in small circles. The relationship focuses on personal dedication between master and student, often resembling a close-knit, exclusive family dynamic. However, the growing demand opened the doors for many entrepreneurs and some practitioners about the lucrative potential of turning this practice into a large-scale business, which is a double-edged sword, and you'll see why. Interestingly, it would be a judoka who would give one of the main tools to the McDojos to do their thing. When Mikinosuke Kawaishi created the system of intermediate belts, yellow, orange, green, and so on, he did it because he understood that, unlike the Japanese, Westerners didn't have the patience to spend years training without receiving recognition, or at least some proof of our progress, understanding then that on this side of the world we were looking for quick rewards. His intention was good, but over time, and with the appearance of the McDojos, he gave these teachers a way to make money left and right. Obviously, the McDojos represent a problem for both traditional martial arts as well as for modern ones, including in sports like mixed martial arts. Situations like these can happen to anyone. No one is immune.
Why do you have to ruin the things I want?
Years ago, I took the course to get the official mixed martial arts instructor certificate. And there I ran into a guy who came from Kyokushin Karate. I'm unsure of his striking ability since he departed before we sparred.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
But I swear to you, everything we practice and review in this course, which was supposed to assess the real level and teaching ability, the guy was completely clueless. He had no technique, pedagogy, or fundamentals whatsoever. Despite this, he left with his mixed martial arts instructor diploma at the same level as more experienced athletes present. Personally, I found it insulting because it was clear he had no idea, neither the preparation nor the knowledge to teach anything.
That day something changed inside Loso. Something broke.
But that's exactly what the McDojo mentality allows, selling certificates regardless of quality.
And they guarantee that this guy will get the black belt in 4 years, 3 years. While in comparison, it would take 10 years with your competitor who's at the end of the street. He's giving it to you in 3 years with minimal pain or suffering.
Of course, among the negative impacts, there are some that go directly against the very essence of what martial arts should be. I was just talking to you about a contact sport. Let's start with technical superficiality. The only thing that matters to the master of a McDojo is that you advance quickly in the belt system, because each promotion in a McDojo usually comes with a payment. Teaching well doesn't matter to him at all. He just skims over the techniques without depth, without real corrections, without understanding their application. The important thing isn't that you learn, it's that it looks like you're making progress. That way, the student gets a huge dopamine rush, an illusion of growth, and the teacher keeps everyone happy while also getting a nice bonus. One of the most popular memes on the internet is the complete lack of real-world application, though not because it's admired. When there's no technical foundation or biomechanical understanding. What they teach you in a McDojo is useless for defending yourself on the street or for competing in a real tournament. What it's good for is giving us a laugh on social media. And this is where, and we'll make a video about it later, besides the McDojos, the famous Bullshido comes in. Fake techniques, fight choreographies that would only work if the attacker was some kind of drunken weakling. Seriously, there are videos where the master throws a key wave and 10 students go flying through the air like sacks of flour. The worst part is that some people actually believe and defend it.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
If techniques are being watered down, values inevitably follow. This happens when the sole focus becomes making money. The principles that have accompanied martial arts for many years, like patience, humility, or perseverance, go straight down the drain. And that's normal. Quick progress promises inflate the ego and create a false mastery sense, which some exploit. The student doesn't go through the hard, long, frustrating, and necessary path to truly forge themselves. And since there's no real sacrifice, there's also no respect for the art or for the teacher, who is now just a service provider. Not even for the belt, which hasn't cost you anything. And clearly, not for the journey to reach that destination, which I believe is the most crucial aspect. Discipline is no longer seen as a tool for growth and self-control, but rather as a simple obligation to pay your membership and show up to class in order to get your belt. And that's where everything starts to lose its value. One of the biggest cancers that McDojos have brought is how easily belts are handed out, especially black belts. What used to be a symbol of mastery, of years of effort and deep learning, now creates doubts. And the worst part is that this practice has spread to almost every discipline. And that's why nowadays the prestige isn't in the belt, it's in who gives it to you, the person or the school. That's why before, when you said, I'm a black belt in X, it created a feeling that it doesn't create nowadays. Except when you answer the question, and who promoted you?
Who knows? I can't tell you anything.
And that's how it is, due to the degradation and decline of martial arts.
What does it take to get a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
Very little. Show up, pay your fees. Nobody cares if you got a black belt, okay? The only thing that matters is skill.
In the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, there were martial arts like certain karate, taekwondo, kenpo, or famous ninjutsu schools where you could get a black belt faster than a preschooler with a fake certificate. But nowadays, this can be seen in some styles where it didn't happen before, like jiu-jitsu. On more than one occasion, fake black belts have been exposed, and even some media personalities have obtained theirs for questionable merits like this, which has recently gone viral. I haven't looked into it. And that leads me to talk about the terrible proliferation of inexperienced instructors. The business model that McDojos use allows individuals with little experience or superficial training to end up taking on instructor roles. Do you remember what I told you at the beginning about my classmate in the mixed martial arts instructor course? Well, if a person with no skill, no real technical knowledge, and no experience manages to get a black belt in 3 years. In disciplines like jiu-jitsu, it was only achievable by geniuses such as Kayotera or Bia J. Pen. How do you think that person is going to be qualified to teach their next group of practitioners?
You don't owe anyone an explanation. I ranked you based on your efficiency. I'm too busy to assign ranks to everyone.
Isn't it based on time?
What time? Time is something for schools. They change your grade every so often. Should a genius or an intelligent person who develops faster than others be held back just because others learn slowly?
And that's what really causes the degradation and the decline of martial arts, or any kind of contact sport that follows this same system of grading and levels.
That's right, that's right.
And watch out, because many times it's not even out of bad faith. That person may have followed everything their teacher told them to the letter, and think that they genuinely earned their rank or their black belt and that they're a real instructor. But if the system is rotten from the root, the student ends up becoming a victim and, without knowing it, also an executioner. Which brings me to the next point. To preserve the integrity of martial arts and ensure quality training, it's essential to differentiate between a McDojo and a traditional dojo, or a good training place and a bad one. Some signs or red flags can be: if they tell you or you hear that someone can get a black belt in a short time, that's a textbook red flag, something to keep in mind. Remember, everyone's journey is unique, and some people can exceed the average in certain situations. But generally, those people earn that recognition because of their merits in the competitive world and stand out above the average. But if in your case there's money involved to move forward faster, take it into consideration. If the instructor shows little or no teaching about the ethical principles, culture, and history of the martial art, he probably doesn't know about it either, or he's not interested in going deeper because he just wants your money. It's important to know where our martial path comes from and where it's going, and to nourish ourselves with that knowledge. If you're only going to throw punches and kicks or takedowns and submissions, you're learning how to fight, not martial arts. It's not about receiving a lecture every time you train. In my experience, this has occurred in small doses, at particular times, and in special situations. Since your path to the black belt is supposed to take several years, you internalize it gradually, pill by pill, almost without realizing it. McDojos are defined by having more graduation ceremonies than the number of videos I create. And in most cases, according to multiple sources and multiple testimonies that I've received, it comes with a financial cost that increases the higher you are on the graduation scale.
I wasn't expecting that.
For example, in jiu-jitsu itself. We could say that a blue belt might cost you $50 and the black or brown belt, the brown belt could already cost you $500. And seriously, I've seen cases like that. I've never been charged for a belt. In fact, if I had to pay for it, most likely I'd still be a white belt. The worst part isn't paying for the belts. As I mentioned, if I had to pay, I'd still be a white belt. But if someone has it in their business model that you have to pay to move up in their school and you accept it, then that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. The key criteria is no longer your level, progress, or true ability. What matters is whether you're paying or not, regardless of your readiness. It doesn't matter. If you pay, you move up, period. And just like I tell you one thing, I'll tell you the other. When I took the mixed martial arts instructor course, I had to pay for it. And in a way, I understand why it's done that way. But in a traditional class where you're not going somewhere to get an official certificate and all that, it's the teacher who hands it out. You're already paying your membership. So personally, I don't think it's fair that you have to pay for a belt. These are just my thoughts, but I'm serious. That's what I think.
Are you diabolical?
And the thing is, many of you are asking yourselves, damn, am I in a McDojo and I don't even know it? Or what's going on? It's up to you to find that answer. The crucial point is to make the right decisions based on your conclusion. If the only thing you care about is the belt, a McDojo is perfect for you. If what you're really interested in is acquiring skills and knowledge, then no. Personally, I've never cared about ranks or belts. I've always seen this as something intimate, something personal. What has really mattered to me is the training, the fight against oneself. That internal war you fight when something doesn't go well for you in each role. But over time, especially since I started considering having my own gym, and since then, I really like the idea of teaching much more than competing. All of this has become much more important, because one thing I understand is that it's your path. And another thing is the path you're actually traveling on. Just as I tell you one thing, I tell you the other. Having a black belt doesn't mean, per se, that you have to beat all the white belts, or that you have to be the toughest guy in the room. That's a fantasy. Just yesterday I was rolling with a white belt who's been training for 6 months, who weighs over 100 kilos and has the strength of a tractor, and he made it really tough for me. Sometimes maybe you weigh 60 kilos or you're 60 years old and you can't beat someone like that. Are you a teacher or a legitimate student? Not because you're a killing machine, but because you've walked this path and you have the real knowledge to wear that symbol with pride. Only you can decide if teaching martial arts is right for you. Keep in mind, making a living teaching martial arts is not easy. And those who decide to take this path and share their real and legitimate knowledge, that's perfect. It's great if they get financial benefit. And the more, the better. If I have a gym one day, I'm going to want to make money from it. Sometimes it's obvious what a McDojo is, while other times it's more complex and unclear. But just like at McDonald's, where I sometimes also grab a good burger and enjoy it. I know perfectly well what I'm eating, and I know that the product it offers me, just like what the McDojo offers me, is the same. It's junk.